January 6th, that horrible, horrible dark day. The insurrection, the coup, the one that almost brought down America. I mean, how much over-the-top garbage have you heard about this day? Well, you've been told, since that day, you've been told, this almost ended America. And it was violent. Oh, my goodness, people were murdered that day. You were told this, and you were told Donald Trump did it. Remember, he was impeached over it. This was an inside job. Republicans in the House and Senate, they organized this. In case you don't remember being told that, here's them telling you that.
I've read that you don't believe this was a spontaneous riot that just sort of ran amok. You think that, they had inside help?
I do believe there was some inside assistance.
Yes, somebody on the inside of those buildings were complicit in this.
There is no doubt in my mind that there were people inside the Capitol, inside law enforcement, perhaps even other members of the other side that may have been involved in this.
There was a sense that something was wrong. And obviously with the violence, but there was a sense that something was wrong from the inside.
And so I do think we owe it to the American people to understand, whether members of our own houses were working with these protesters.
Whew. We better get to the bottom of that. That's pretty scary. Except the FBI, not exactly on our side, right? The FBI just came out and said, hey, we've looked into it. There was no collaboration. There was no deep organization. It wasn't an inside job. It was a bunch of dudes who wandered into the Capitol building. They didn't have weapons. They wandered into the Capitol building. And speaking of January 6th, I mean, there was somebody who died that day. She was shot in the neck. Her name was Ashley Babbitt. The Capitol Police conducted an internal probe into the shooting of Ashley Babbitt. And they won't even name the officer. That's funny. An unarmed civilian was shot dead in the neck from very close range by a police officer. And we don't know his name. It seems like there are so many cases of officers getting in altercations with civilians, and we know every single thing about the officer about 35 seconds after it happens. Shoot, we destroy his life. His wife will have to quit her job. His kids will have to move schools. They have to go in hiding because we know everything right off the bat, but we don't know anything about this guy. It's weird. Anyway, the unnamed officer, according to the Capitol Police, was acting lawful and within department policy because it was in defense of human life. In defense of human life. That is funny. People out there, Americans right now, they're struggling with something, and understandably struggling with something, but they're struggling with something. You probably are. I definitely am. There is such a crisis of trust now. We've been lied to so many times. Everything in our culture, all the cultural institutions seem like they're all carrying the same message, the leftist message, and the message that you're the enemy. That now, people like us, we don't trust anything. We don't trust anything. And I would argue that's a healthy place for you to be as an individual because you shouldn't trust anything now. None of what you see is real. They're all lying at all times. So you shouldn't trust anything. But overall, on a macro level, isn't this so grossly unhealthy? I mean, do you really believe CIA, NSA, FBI, do you believe they're there to protect you and protect the nation now? Or do you believe they think you're the enemy? That's where we are. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.